So yeah, jumping right in, talking about Volcano Island. Who did you design this course for?
Hmm. Good question. So, Volcano Island is not so much a course as it is a retreat, a mastermind, an activation. Um, and it is for visionary leaders, it's for wealth builders, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for coaches and transformational entrepreneurs. Most profoundly, although it's for entrepreneurs in general. And yeah, it's really for visionary leaders who are feeling themselves on the precipice of massive transformation and are ready to rise into a higher paradigm of sacred wealth, sacred power, clarity, greatness, and leadership.
Hmm. Okay, and for someone kind of like myself, feeling the call, I've read the sales page. I feel a lot of resonance. I feel very excited about it, but also feeling resistance due to financial concerns. Like, it's difficult to make that decision of how much how much is worth paying for something like this. What would you say to those people?
Hmm. Mm, it's highly contextual. It's really hard to give general advice because it really depends. It really depends. Like if a person is, you know, $50,000 in debt, then most likely it's not a wise decision to come to this unless they're literally feeling themselves to be on the precipice of an utterly life revolutionizing transformation. So basically, I would just say to sort of time travel into the future, feel into the version of you that is wanting to come forth in this lifetime. Like, say, tune into your 20-year vision, tune into the version of you that exists in the vision you're calling forth 20 years from now. Feel into, like, okay, what am I actually moving into in this lifetime? How much is that version of me going to be making per month? How much, what kind of like king warrior energy, entrepreneur, wealth builder energy is that version of me going to be embodying? And if you're someone who's feeling like I'm meant to be a wealth builder in this lifetime, I'm meant to be an entrepreneur, I'm meant to activate the king archetype, I'm meant to, you know, build hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of wealth in this lifetime, I'm going to be making tens, five figures, or even six figures per month at some point. This is my feeling about myself. If that's you, then, go from that perspective and think in terms of, okay, from that perspective, approximately 2 or 3K investment, which is about what the retreat is, depending on different factors and depending on how quickly you move, because it's kind of a system I'm doing to increase the price to reward the first movers. From that perspective, that level of investment is nothing, right? It's basically like chump change. It's something you could look back on in years and be like, wow, that was mere peanuts actually. But at the time, it felt like a lot and it was very activating to me. And that was the moment that everything really began to shift and accelerate. That's the moment I can see where a lot of timelines collapsed into each other. And I really like quantum leaped and accelerated and began to embody my king and my entrepreneur and my wealth builder much sooner. And that embodiment alone began to shift my reality at a faster rate. So that's the way I would recommend thinking about it.
What transformation do you expect people to experience? Like looking at someone before they come on this retreat and after, what sort of difference do we expect to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, it's highly contextual and individual. as with anything in life, each individual is going to get the exact thing that they need at the time, because in my view, that's what is constantly happening in life. We all receive exactly what we need, and it's always extremely personalized medicine that life gives us. So above all, it's going to be a highly personalized, energetic activation. The simple act of flying across the world to a remote island in the middle of the ocean that is literally like full of volcanoes and earthquakes and is really just like a ridiculous pocket of gorgeous nature right in the middle of the ocean. I mean, this place alone is like energetic vortex to the max. So literally just coming here for a week or for 2 weeks or however long you end up staying. The retreat is 5 days, but I would tell people to, if possible, stay 2 weeks or more. Just by coming here, there's going to be massive energetic stuff that happens. There's going to be massive stuff that moves, and that's going to be very individualized. On the level of the more tangible, pragmatic teachings of this particular event, I'm really focused on going deep into entrepreneurship and wealth building and visionary leadership, embodying your genius, embodying your greatness, activating your voice, speaking your truth, embodying prolific creativity. And so, as with any retreat, integration is absolutely paramount. So if a person shows up at the retreat, learns, gets the downloads, and then actually fully commits to integrating those downloads, then the results are going to be massive for that person. And again, that's highly individual, because you really have to ask yourself, am I the person who in this lifetime is really going to live my truth all the way? Because most people are not that. Most people, they want it on some level, but they're not going to summon the actual oomph, the actual like gargantuan King Kong size testicles that it takes to fucking live your truth all the way in this lifetime. Because that's no joke. That's like, I don't say those words lightly. Like, even to say to myself that I'm committed to living my truth all the way in this lifetime, that's like one of the most powerful statements I could possibly make. So if a person's really prepared to take this all the way, I mean, the sky's the limit. I'm basically going to share the foundational blueprints that would allow a person to, build a thriving empire, build a thriving kingdom or queendom. Going to share the exact templates that I've used to create businesses that have generated, for me personally, up to $40,000 in a single month. So yeah, basically that's kind of the synopsis. Again, it's highly contextual and individual. It will really depend on each individual will get what they need from it. And if someone shows up and they're really ready to go all the way, then they'll likely look back on this as a milestone launch pad that catapulted them and allowed them to quantum leap on their path to living their truth all the way and fully activating their king or queen, their wealth builder, their entrepreneur at a new level.
And what sort of activities will we be taking part in?
So basically, we're going to be staying in a gorgeous villa, a mountain view villa with a pool, a beautiful place in Furnash, which is literally inside a volcano on the island, in the area with the most gorgeous nature that exists on the island. And that's kind of the setting. There's going to be plenty of time for just relaxation and socializing and chilling in the pool, and probably some partying, probably some kind of celebratory festivities, because I find that to be quite activating myself, that type of vibe. In addition to that, there's going to be several high-level master classes and live sessions with me where I'm going to dispense like the pragmatic, meaty information level downloads of the event. On top of that, there's going to be various sorts of energetic activations, which it's not exactly clear to me yet what those will be. Sometimes that type of stuff drops in or can shift, as I feel the energy of the event. But that's likely to involve things like breathwork ceremonies and ecstatic dance and certain types of specialized activating meditations. Um, yeah, that's kind of what comes up initially. I mean, the entire thing is going to be an energetic activation again, just by coming to this island. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the gist. And of course,
Mm.
there's always surprises along the way.
Yeah, my feeling is that just by making that decision to travel to Portugal like that, even if you're attending a retreat that like turned out to be average, not to say that that's what your retreat is going to be, but just by making that decision, I feel like you'd make leaps and bounds. But more so if you're following a call that really felt true to you. Um, okay, so I've been consuming your content online for a long time, and I will continue to. And I'm sure that anyone who's hearing about this course has built a relationship with you through your online content. But obviously, it's a big step up to take part in an in-person event. And you've done a few of these. I've been connecting with these communities online. I've never actually met anyone in person, and I've never actually been to an event in person. So maybe if you could speak to that, what's the difference?
Man, it's a complete game changer. Literally total paradigm shift. Like I 1000%. Like every time I meet someone who we've been connected online for some period of time and we've kind of known we're like soul fam online, and there's a certain level of closeness that can arise from that at that level of the digital. But man, when you bring it in person, you feel people's in person energies and you commingle those energy fields and you receive those kind of in person codes and activations from beings who are living in the reality you want to live in, especially when you meet beings who are kind of farther along in that respect, like they've manifested more of what you're looking to manifest and looking to create. There's just like huge embodied cellular, like DNA level upgrades and activations and realizations that take place. Your entire sense of possibility like radically expands when you meet physically the beings who are living in the sort of reality that you've been dreaming of living in. So I would say it's utterly indispensable on the path to living your truth all the way. You have to find the others and you have to physically meet up with them. So I think that sums it up.
Hmm. So yeah, like even aside from the money thing, when I first read the sales page and started to feel like this could be something that I'm interested in doing, I felt a lot of resistance come up. And the way that I have experienced resistance is that it really is like the bigger the opportunity to evolve and upgrade, the more resistance you're going to experience.
Mm.
So let's say, yeah, I don't know the metaphysical reality of this for sure, but let's say there are 5 people who are destined to come on this retreat, people who are actually called, like they're going to be the ones who come. But right now, they're feeling a lot of resistance. It can come in many forms. Sometimes it doesn't even have form. If you could speak to those people, what would you say?
Mm. That's an amazing question. You're a good interviewer, bro. I'm loving this. This is great. Um, I would say I've been there. I've been in your exact shoes. I've felt terrifying levels of resistance prior to some of the largest leaps that I ever made. For example, when I moved to Asia at age 22 for 16 months, I was like, massive anxiety. What the fuck am I doing? Or when I was signing up for or on my way to certain retreats I've been to, ayahuasca retreats, stuff like that, just having like, massive resistance, doubt, or fear come up. it totally is part of the process. And it's really like the process for these types of events and activations begins the moment that you decide to go. Even if you, I think even if you like unconsciously decide, even if you haven't admitted to yourself that you decided, but you know on some level, I'm going, I'm supposed to be there, then the process already begins and it starts to like reach deep within you and starts to like pull stuff out of you. So you just have to hold space for yourself and remember that what's coming is going and what's coming up is like coming up to be released. And you're just literally already, the process is beginning. You're starting to shed layers of fear and resistance and self-protective mechanisms that are in the way of bringing forth what you're really calling in. For example, in the way of activating that next level, like king archetype or warrior archetype, who is able to really like apply all the knowledge you've been gaining. So many of us on the internet have been in knowledge gathering mode for so long, yet we have not activated the archetypes that can really apply that knowledge. So we've been in our magician for ages, and that's great. The magician's awesome. It sees things, it knows things, but without the warrior who can apply that knowledge, and without the king who has like the embodied beingness of that knowledge and the high level organized ordering executive function of kind of seeing the big picture, then that magician is going to be flaccid and is going to be unable to do what one is truly called to do. So basically, I would just say I can relate. It's part of the process. Trust the process, lean into it, hold space for yourself, and feel the fear and act anyway. That's something you're going to have to get really used to doing if you want to live your truth all the way.
Mm.
It doesn't stop. Every time you reach a new precipice, a new layer, there's some level of fear and resistance that comes up. You got to get in the habit of feeling that and acting anyway. It's just how this stuff works.
Yeah, my feeling is kind of, you know, get out of your own way. Like there's a part of you deeper than your rational conscious mind, and it knows what you need to do, and you just need to get out of the way, and it'll take you where you need to go. So for someone who's feeling excited after listening to this interview, listening to these questions, but perhaps is still not like totally sure, how do you recommend they go forward? Maybe, I don't know, like a journaling prompt or something. And then as well, like where do they actually find this course? Where can they follow up with this?
Yeah, so I would recommend just going to jordanbates.life/volcano-island. That's where go to the landing page. I would recommend reading the landing page again, or yeah, reading it if you haven't read it. Click the apply button, go through the application. The application itself is intended to be a clarifying and activating exercise. And as you go through the application, that should bring more clarity about whether you're really meant for that. And then at the end of the application, you'll be asked to schedule a call with me. So by that point in the application, if you're feeling like, okay, I've gained clarity and this actually isn't for me, then, maybe save your answers somewhere and don't submit the application. But if you're feeling like, actually, yeah, I'm getting the sense this is probably for me, then go ahead and schedule that call with me, submit the application, and then we can hop on a call and we can further dive in to tune into the energy. I can feel a person's field and energy and what's wanting to come forth in their direction in life, and sense like, is this meant to be for this person? And also, am I wanting to work with this person? Do I sense the level of readiness, the level of ripeness, the level of commitment? Because it's not good for either of us if I waste my time working with someone who's not truly ready to go, like ready to commit. I'm here to work with people who are really ready to activate. It's not common to find people who are at that level, who are really ready to say, I would rather die than live a lie. I'm ready to live my truth all the way. I'm ready to surrender to God fully and do what I came to earth to do. I mean, it's no joke whatsoever. So, Yeah. So we tune in, we figure that out, and that's how you can gain that clarity.
Cool, cool. Well, I feel like that pretty much sums it up. I'm definitely gonna go and do the application probably right after this. See how that goes. Um, is there anything else you want to say?
um, I don't think so. Thank you so much for asking me to do this, bro. Really good idea. Send a lot of love your way, and just send love to everybody listening. Full, yeah, love and heart-led, heart-led power. Let's go. Let's
Mm.
activate.
Amen.